go ahead and talk.
So I'm going to repeat what we said just a moment ago. We're going to now answer the questions that were sent in to us last night after the session to the email account. So if you have some more, please send them in, and we're going to start with the 3, I believe, that came in. So Lonnie, here we go. On the Lieutenant Governor Report, Division Evaluation, number 4, please define division events.
All right, division events, when I put that in on the form, means division council meetings, elections, anything. You may have a barbecue in the middle of the summer as a gathering. Anytime a club is participating in that, that is where you put
The information. Got it. Okay. So there was a question on the realignment, as I might have expected. However, this one's kind of confusing to me, so I'm going to read it first and then I'm going to respond. On the realignment form package, when I saw them on the screen, there are several clubs with a red line underneath them. Some examples, and that goes on to give some club examples. What does this mean? And I'm sorry to say that the correct plan that you should be viewing does not have any red lines on it, so I don't know quite how to answer this. If you make sure that you have gone to the, which tab is it? The Resources tab, go to the Lieutenant Governor Reports, the left-hand column, and there is the alignment plan. That is our Plan C that we're currently dealing with. That is the correct plan to be viewing and answering questions. So hope that helps, and if you have any further realignment questions, please let me know, and or Mike, Dr. Mike, either one, even Lonnie or DSEC can forward those to us. So just let us know and we'll be happy to answer them. It's really important.
We have some questions that people want to know if they can, you can see the chat today, so if you can let them know, yes.
Yes, we can see the chat today. We are up and running properly. So I'm going to move on to number 3, and then if you have more questions, you can let us know, Janelle. And thanks for being here today to help us out. Will we receive the workbook in the mail at some point, Governor-elect Lonnie?
Okay, actually those cross paths in the Ethernet, I answered that with the email I sent out last night. And I believe Susie Meyer was the Lieutenant Governor that posed the question. We will be sending those out here in the near future by mail. We just couldn't get it all done at one time. You will get the hard copy. All right.
Janelle, do we have any more questions?
Well, I have a request.
Okay.
Rena from Alaska would like Lonnie to show us his beautiful smile.
Are you being too serious again?
I think I left it in my other shirt.
It says, or as Daryl says, corners up.
Corners up.
I don't know.
Got that one.
All right. I'm going to leave you to it.
Thank you, Governor Melanie. I appreciate it. All right, let's review our homework from last night. Have you thought about what you can do to make your division better? I hope you have. It's an important topic, and continue to think about it in the coming weeks. So what I think we're going to do here next is we're going to go into the governance that I asked Ed Luttrell, our district secretary, to do.
Hello, I'm Ed Luttrell, your PNW District Secretary and Executive Director. To understand your role as a Lieutenant Governor, it is helpful to understand the structure of Kiwanis. The work of Kiwanis is primarily conducted at the club level, and many members never venture outside that portion of the Kiwanis structure. However, you have chosen to expand your knowledge and participation in Kiwanis, and I welcome you on that journey. Kiwanis is governed by its bylaws and a secondary set of rules called policies and procedures. Each chartered level of the organization has these 2 documents as fundamental governing documents. So in real terms, what does that mean? Kiwanis International, or KI, is the parent, and the districts and clubs cannot be in conflict with their bylaws or policies and procedures. To ensure this, The bylaws of districts and clubs must be approved by KI. KI is governed by elected and appointed officers and trustees who serve as the board of directors. The trustees and officers are elected by 2 delegates from each club, as well as the current officers of the districts. This includes you as a lieutenant governor. The KI bylaws clearly state that a Kiwanis district shall exist to help Kiwanis clubs and Kiwanis International advance the objects, objectives, policies, and strategic goals of Kiwanis. The Pacific Northwest District of Kiwanis International, we call ourselves simply the PNW, has been in existence since January 17, 1919. It is composed of roughly 270 clubs and 7,000 members. At the annual district convention, the House of Delegates is responsible for the election of officers and the updating of the bylaws. Each club is entitled to 3 delegates, and all past lieutenant governors and the current elected and appointed officers are delegates at large. The board of directors of the PNW is made up of the officers of the district. There are 3 elected officers: the governor-elect, and the immediate past governor, and 2 appointed officers, the treasurer and the secretary, and the lieutenant governors of each division within the district, who by virtue of their position are officers of the district. The board of directors is responsible for oversight and setting the policies and procedures of the PNW. The work of the PNW is carried out in several ways. The educational work is under the direction of the governor-elect, and the focus and priorities of the year are the responsibilities of the governor. The team that will carry out the work is made up of chairs and committees and are appointed by the governor. The administration of the district is overseen by the treasurer and secretary. The secretary serves as the executive director of the PNW and manages the office and tasks that need to be completed. The district has 3 employees: the secretary, executive director, our publications IT guru, Gary Beller, and Kathy Hart, who is the administrative clerk. The office staff carries out most of the administrative, record-keeping, and communication efforts of the district. They also are involved with all the events and training done by the district. Normal office hours at our Gladstone office are 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. In a nutshell, that is the structure of Kiwanis and your district. Now, the real challenge is how to make use of this structure and these resources to make your time as a lieutenant governor productive for you, your clubs, and your district. The philosophy of the office staff is first to do our part to create success for the Kiwanis organization in the Pacific Northwest. Second is to provide assistance to the governor and governor-elect to aid them in achieving success with their goals. In working with the office staff, remember that your primary starting point is with me. Your office staff works as a team, and each person is focused on the tasks that match their skill sets. We do have priorities based upon upcoming events and unexpected situations, but our goal is to help all levels of Kiwanis to accomplish great things. The use of technology is important, and if you need a few lessons, we can assist you. It is important that you become familiar with Kiwanis Connection and explore what information is available to you. Each member has a page that they can access and modify. Each club has a secretary's dashboard that is fully accessed by the secretary and assistant secretary and partially by the president. As the lieutenant governor, you can access many reports and information, just as the governors and some of the district chairs do. If you need help with assisting clubs that are having problems with Kiwanis Connection, which has replaced Portal Buzz, let me know, as I have the most access in the district. The information in Kiwanis Connection is critical. It is what KI and the PNW uses for all of our communications. The directory is drawn straight from the database, and if clubs don't submit their election report through the Secretary's dashboard, there is no other way to know what the correct information is. Member information is critical, especially phone and email. If you can impress upon your club secretaries that the information in the dashboard is important to the organization, that would be a tremendous accomplishment. As an example, the builder is our district's magazine, and without a complete and accurate address, your fellow members will not receive it. The plus of Kiwanis Connection is that there are no paper forms for the secretary to fill out beyond delegate forms for the international and district conventions. Just to clarify, KI and the district never sell or releases the information in our membership database, and only approved information is distributed to our membership. The information is as secure as KI can make it. I'd like to share some essential information on communication to help you. If anyone checks the box in the dashboard not to receive information from KI or from the district, they don't get anything. If someone unsubscribes from a district email list, they unsubscribe from all emails. If a member wants some things but not others, encourage them to use the delete button rather than the total elimination option. The website of the PNW is designed primarily as a resource for you. Everything that we can provide you to assist you in performing your task as a lieutenant governor is there. As you can see from this screenshot, there is a lot of information at the click of a mouse. If you scroll over to the blue bar near the top of the page, the lead category gives you choices that you will need to utilize as an officer of the district. The serve category gives you choices on our projects and partners. The events category gives you the choice for each district event that you might be interested in or required to attend. Resources gives you choices for commonly requested information from both KI and the PNW. I would suggest that you just explore the website and become familiar with where the various documents are located. There is a lot of information on our site, and if you find something that is out of date, just shoot me an email. The annual directory is now an electronic document only that is emailed to you. It isn't posted on the website any longer, as the criminal element of the web uses that data for phishing, and we are striving to protect our members from such activity. Every current member may request a PDF copy of the latest version of the directory via the website. Your district currently has a blog. We post videos and podcasts, as well as the Builder magazine, which is published 4 times a year, with 2 issues as a print copy mailed to each member. You are encouraged to submit information that can be used in any of these formats and to showcase achievements of your division's clubs. I hope you've gained a little insight into Kiwanis and the operation of your PNW. If you have any questions, I encourage you to send your questions to dsec@pnwkiwanis.org, and I will get back to you.
Welcome back, Lieutenant Governors. My name is Jackie Sue McFarland. I'm a past governor of our Awesome Sauce District, and I'm here today to talk to you about, are you member ready? Open the front door, but keep the back door locked. So, are you ready? A few things I want to cover today is the importance of a membership chair, doing a pulse check. I want to also spend some time on describing, are you or is your club member ready? I want to review the importance of a new member orientation, making sure that new members have mentorship. We're going to spend a bit of time also on exit interviews, and then towards the end, we'll have questions and feedback. With this though, throughout my presentation, please use the chat function if you have a pressing issue on your mind. Janelle will be keeping track of that for us. So, without further ado, let's begin. Club membership chair. How many clubs have a membership chair? You would be very surprised to find that the number is low. A club membership chair will work with everyone in the club to make sure their experience is enjoyable and attractive to prospective members. The chair will work with club members to make sure that we invite new members, engage existing members, increase visibility into the community. Now, does this sound like a job that one person can do alone? And the answer is no. Membership chair duties, they include develop an action plan to meet membership goals, plan membership drives and special membership events, plan and conduct new member induction and orientations, and share passion with Kiwanis. When you are the membership chair, you are the voice and typically the face for all of the membership activities in your club. So you need to surround yourself with others that can help you achieve this goal. As you all know, membership is our most important priority one. Membership means that we not only take care of new members, but the members we have. You need to be passionate about Kiwanis. You need to understand the importance of inviting new members. You need to understand membership programs, communicate effectively, engage, encourage, and motivate others. You need to be organized, focused on innovation, sound good judgment, and overall share with others. So, as a membership chair, one of the first main tasks that I would recommend you perform is a membership satisfaction survey within your club. It should be done annually or when there's a great change in the club membership. And that change can be whether it dropped or you added new members. The reason this is important is because you do need to assess the club experience in 4 different areas: club management, membership strength, community service impact, and also the member experience. This is an opportunity for members to give feedback as to how they feel about their club. For some of you that may know me, I like to tell short stories. I think short stories hit home, so I'm going to throw someone under the bus. The president of the East Spokane Kiwanis Club was contacted by Vicki Frucci, our member education chair. She wanted to perform a member satisfaction survey to the East Spokane Kiwanis Club. And he said, no, our club is perfect. We don't need it. There's nothing wrong. She hounded him. And so finally, to hush her up, he said, okay, fine, come and do it. So she came to the meeting. She facilitated the survey. She took all of the submitted surveys home. She tallied up all of the reports, the results. She made a report. She came back to the club to present her report. Believe it or not, for the perfect club, there was 2 or 3 things identified. So George, at that time, he decided, all right, the people have spoken. So he had small committees put together to address the 2 or 3 issues that came up. The committees worked on them, report back to the club. So even though it was a terrific club, they became even better. There's always room for improvement. One thing that happened, if you can't tell throughout this process, is the club president did not facilitate the survey. He called upon a neutral third party to be the facilitator. The reason a neutral third party is so important is because If you are the club president performing the survey, and I'm going to fill out the survey on you or the club, and I'm going to hand it back to you, you may know what I wrote. You may be able to identify my handwriting. With that in mind, I'm not going to be honest. But if it is done by a neutral third party, the chances of the responses being honest are higher. So definitely call upon a neutral third party to be the facilitator. You as lieutenant governors can do this. You can do it with the help of our membership team through the district or your officers. Let's see. Next slide. Post-survey. The most important thing when you do conduct a member satisfaction survey is to make sure that whatever opportunities are identified, make sure you choose 2 or 3 of those opportunities and act on them. The reason being is if you let those opportunities go and you don't act on them, your people will not have the confidence in giving feedback next time. So whatever the survey shows, identify opportunities and act on them. Next slide. All of this leads up to member ready. What that means to me is your club member ready? Picture yourself inviting your 20-something son or daughter to your Kiwanis Club meeting. First of all, are they going to want to go? How physically challenged are you going to have to get them there? Will they have fun? Will they be comfortable there? Will they ever want to return, let alone would they ever want to join? So that's what I consider to be member ready. Your club needs to be welcoming and inviting to others. There are some things you cannot control, like your meeting location, how dim the lights are, or the prices on the menu. But there are other things you can control, such as having a greeter at the door, making sure the club meeting experience is the most positive it could be. You also need to make sure that every service project has a positive and heartwarming experience. If you can achieve this, then you may be member ready. To get member ready, your club members need to develop their elevator speech. So like me, in line at a grocery store, I got caught flat-footed. I had on my Kiwanis pin on my lapel, and somebody in line asked me, "What's that pin mean?" And I stood there, I didn't know what to say. Even for being a longtime Kiwanian, put on the spot, I didn't know what to say. So it's important that all of your club members learn an elevator speech. You're in an elevator, you're in line at the grocery store like me. They say, "What is Kiwanis?" Here's your answer. Some say you have 60 seconds to pique people's curiosity. Other people say you have 30, other people say you have 20, and some say you have 15 seconds. No matter how many seconds you have, it's a limited amount of time to capture their interest. So let's make an elevator speech. In the speech, you should have, why would someone join my club? What's our community? What's in the community that we need to be worried about? What type of impact does our club have? And how do we do it? So I'm going to read to you the Kiwanis International version of an elevator speech. Kids help Kiwanis around the world. Local clubs look for ways to have impact in their communities, while Kiwanis International takes on the large-scale challenges such as disease and poverty. We are generous with our time, we are creative with our ideas, we are passionate about making a difference, and we have fun along the way. So that's a very high-level elevator speech that is developed by Kiwanis. But what your folks need to work on is developing their own personal elevator speech, something that comes from the heart, is true to them, so that when they are in that grocery store line and someone asks, "What is Kiwanis?" they're going to be able to say it right away, and it's going to be real. All right, so let's move past. We're going to jump ahead. you have a couple of members that are ready to join the club. Two things that are very important for new members is a new member orientation. What's Kiwanis? Kiwanis is District, Division, and International. It's member expectations, service leadership, and Kiwanis objects. The new member orientation is presented with not only the sponsoring, or should be presented, not only with the sponsoring Kiwanian, but with the club leaders as well. We have both a written bullet point Word version of a new member orientation. We also have a PowerPoint version. If you want either of those, let your leadership know. The reason it's important for a new member orientation is to make sure that they know what they're signing up for, what they're getting themselves into, and what they can expect. We don't want members to sign up for a year just because someone guilted them into it, or someone wouldn't get out of their office fast enough without that signed application. We want them to sign up as Kiwanians and be Kiwanians for life. You know, it was my third club that I joined before I realized that Kiwanis was actually an international organization. It wasn't until the Pasco Kiwanis Club took me into a room before I became inducted, and they held a new member orientation for me. And that's when I found out that Kiwanis International is a worldwide service organization. So my third club until I found that out. Next slide. Welcoming new members. So when we do welcome new members into Kiwanis, we need to make sure that we induct them. The induction should be special. It should be something memorable, something that you're proud of, something they're proud of, because it will give them a reason to continue to go out and gloat about Kiwanis to their friends. One thing that Pasco Kiwanis did is that when I was inducted, they gave me a folder. In the folder was my certificate that I could hang on the wall of my home or my office. It had my pin, my Kiwanis pin that I could wear. It had a copy of both the district and the international magazine, plus some local literature about their club. In it also, they had a blank piece of paper, and the idea was for 3 meetings, all of the club members in Pasco Kiwanis Club were to come up to me, introduce themselves, and sign that piece of paper. At the end of the 3rd meeting, everyone who didn't sign it was fined. That was one of the requirements for me to get the good badge, because when I was inducted, I got this ugly gold badge, and everybody else had this really nice blue and silver badge. The other things I had to do to get that nice regular badge was be a greeter for 3 meetings, attend a board meeting, and attend a service project. Nothing too difficult, nothing too hard, but it kept me engaged right away in the club. And when I fulfilled all these points, I got my nice regular silver and blue badge like everybody else had. Also about the induction, when they get up and they tell the group about who they are, let them talk about their job. Let them talk about their family with no monetary fines. Get to know them. Also during the new member orientation, let them know about the different committees that your club has. During that time, if they show interest in a specific committee, and you should encourage them to want to join at least one, when they pick which one they want to join, call the chair of that committee and ask the chair to give a reach out phone call as soon as possible to welcome to the committee. Keep the engagement, keep the Kiwanis momentum going for the new members. The next item is mentorship. When a new Kiwanian is in the club, don't just let them go on their own. Make sure that they have a mentor. It may not be the person that sponsors them into the club. It may be someone else that is more willing to be a mentor. Make sure that the mentor stays engaged with a person, and make sure that the new club member stays engaged with the club. If they're active or absent both in a mental or a physical means, you need to check on them and find out what's going on. Keep them engaged. Let's say you have a member who decides, this isn't for me. I just don't know if I can do this. I think I'm going to quit the club. How many clubs perform an exit interview? We kind of got away from this practice, and we need to get back to it, because if we knew why they left, could we perhaps correct the problem? Kiwanis has developed an exit interview form that we can download and use. We truly need to find out why members leave. Even though we want that back door closed, we need to find out how to close it and keep it closed. So once we have a few exit interviews compiled, look and see if there's commonalities. What are we doing that we could change and perhaps close that back door? If you have trouble finding that form, it should be in your Lieutenant Governor binder. If not, contact your leadership. Let's start using it so that we can learn how to close the back door. Now, the next section of my presentation is tips and tactics. I want to give you a whole bunch of different information. Hopefully you're hungry for more information. I'm going to give you the tidbit to make you even hungrier so that you can come and ask more questions. So let's go through the first one. How many folks have a new member application on them, around them, in their car, close by? So if that person in the checkout line at the grocery store who asked about your PIN shows interest and they may want to join, having an application on hand could really benefit you and your club. They are free at the Kiwanis store. I would suggest that your club order a couple of packs, pass one out to each member, and have them put it in their glove box or their attaché case if they carry one. Make sure it's readily available in case you've got someone interested. The reason for that is if you do have someone who's interested, but it takes you a bit of time to get them that application, the person could change their mind, and we don't want that to happen. So have a new member application at hand. When your club president comes up to you and says, we need to grow, we need to gain members, and he says or she says, should we invite? Who should we go out and talk to? Chances are the membership is just going to be deer in the headlights. I have no idea who to talk to. I can't think right now. But what if the club president came up and said, you know what, let's target financial institutions. There's a dozen banks in the town or the county. We've only got 2 or 3 banks represented in our club. That means we have opportunity to add 8 or 9 more. Let's go out and get them. How do you do this? Analyze your membership by using the roster analysis sheet. The roster analysis sheet will take a look at all of the occupations of your current members. It will help you determine who isn't represented or what occupation or industries aren't represented, who's missing. There's nothing wrong with going out and saying, you know what, Umpqua Bank and US Bank, they're both members. Why aren't you? Nothing wrong with dropping those corporate names and making sure that they know, those 2 banks found a reason to join. Maybe we should too. This leads you also, there's different types of membership. There's the corporate membership. So if they don't want to have one person be that membership all the time, they could join as a corporate membership, same price as a regular membership. They send a representative. The representative's typically the same person over and over, but if they can't come one day, they send someone else. So if they don't want to have Joe Smith join, the bank manager, have Umpqua Bank join and send Joe Smith when he can. Just a thought. The next tip, how many clubs use an agenda? Most do. But did you know that the agenda is not your grandfather's Buick? It can be a marketing tool. On the screen, I've given you a very small, use your glasses, snippet of a sample agenda. This was appropriated by a Spokane club who has been sharing it all across the district. What's nice about this agenda is it's got the words to our songs. So if you do have a guest speaker or a new member or just a guest, and they come in and you start singing the national anthem or O Canada and they don't know the words, they're just standing there. You're actually giving them the words so they don't feel so uncomfortable. What's also nice about this agenda is on the left-hand side, the navigation bar, you have the officers and the board members of the club. Perhaps they're going to recognize one of those names. If they recognize one of those names, it's kind of like name dropping, silent name dropping. I didn't know he was a member. Maybe I should be too. You also can put on the back side of this agenda what your club participates in, who they give money to, and then also a calendar of all of your upcoming activities. This would be a good document to send out to all of your membership prior to the meeting. If someone's on the fence post, I may not be able to attend this week's meeting or not, perhaps the guest speaker would make them commit to coming. For those that can't come, it would keep them in the loop, let them know what's going on, keep them informed. I would also send it to all of your past guest speakers, all of your past guests, and then don't forget your district leadership to keep them informed of what you're doing. So please, an agenda is not just an agenda anymore. Think of it as a marketing tool. Think of it as a communication tool. If you need a copy of this to edit for your clubs, just let us know. How many folks have thought about Remember? Remember is something that's been around for ages. Remember is you've had members of the club that for whatever reason, they have quit. Maybe the reason that they quit is no longer valid. Maybe it was their job. Maybe it was their personal life. Maybe it was their, goodness only knows. Maybe it was a personality conflict with somebody in the club. Invite all of the past members to a special member event because perhaps the reason for leaving the club no longer exists and they want to rejoin. Your club secretary has the ability to download the roster of all of the terminated members. That is your resource for who to invite. Make sure that when you have a Remember membership event, you remind everybody what your club has been doing, what you're up to, and what you're doing next. Everyone has their heart that they're going to feel first before just going to another meeting. So remember. Show your members you care. Have you gone to a club meeting and someone's missing? They've been missing for a meeting or two. Where are they at? Are they sick? Have they been traveling for work? Why aren't they here? Well, instead of just wondering and asking these questions to the air, have someone responsible for reaching out. Send them a card that says, "We miss you." It's in everyone's DNA to feel missed, to be wanted, and make sure that they know that someone noticed they're not there and cared enough to reach out to find out why. So make sure if someone has missed 2 meetings or more, reach out to them, find out what's going on, and care. One thing that we don't do well in Kiwanis is market our clubs. We forget to make sure that the communities know who has had that fabulous pancake breakfast or who just handed out the free bicycle helmets to children. We forget to make sure that the community knows what Kiwanis does. So make sure that you market your club during all of your meetings, your service projects, social media, news media, local chamber, community and schools, etc., etc. It truly is the best kept secret. The sign that you see here on this slide, I actually downloaded from the Kiwanis International website. They have a lot of graphics, flyers, posters, and signs that you can download and use. You'll see a few of those later in my slide as well. But go out, find them, and use them. Make sure the community knows what Kiwanis does and who they are. All right, so let's talk about the virus. Did you think for a moment that you would be in the middle of a global pandemic? No idea this could happen, but it has. We're all here today, we've survived it. But what are we going to do when our governors open up our states, when we're allowed to meet again like we used to? We need to think about it. There's going to be a new normal, and none of us know what that new normal is going to look like. We don't know what it's going to look like, feel like. What will our children think about the new normal? And what do we think about the new normal? We need to start thinking about it because it's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than we think. So what I want to propose to you is, I want you to use one of the ACE tools that's available to you on the Kiwanis International website. One of the first tasks that I think clubs should do when their communities reopen, when you can meet again, when you can start making an impact, is to use the Rediscovering Your Community ACE tool. Our communities are going to change. We're not quite sure how yet, but they're going to change. It's inevitable. And we need to make sure that our clubs can keep up with that change and change with them. If the clubs continue to do what they've always done, they're going to be irrelevant and they're going to be shortcoming in the community. And that's the last thing we want to happen to our clubs. So the rediscovering, the surveys help clubs gather data about the community needs for the people. They also help to identify the club in partnerships with others who, who might partner with others to address those needs and strengthen relationships in the communities, like your town council, your city council, your mayors, your police, your fire, your emergency system, and especially your community schools. What I like most about the Rediscovering tool is that it has a step-by-step process that will lead you through the survey. It will give you how to create a contact list with all those entities I just named, identify team members. Not every Kiwanian is able to go out and talk to the city mayor. Oh my gosh, I think I'd get just as tongue-tied as I do right now with you folks. So find those Kiwanians that can go out and talk to them. Schedule and conduct interviews. And what's really cool about this tool is it gives you open-ended questions. And the open-ended questions are awesome, trust me. You can then debrief with the results of all of the meetings that you had with the community leaders. And you can decide, how does the club proceed? Your club will need to check, adjust, and change. The reason being is you need to be more meaningful, more relevant, and have greater impact in your communities. We can't say those words enough. Your clubs also need to be innovative. They need to be acceptable to virtual options. Some clubs are meeting these days over Zoom or other means, and that's good. They're finding that it's not half bad. But there's other clubs that aren't meeting at all, and that worries me. Clubs need to be willing to try new things, and they need to keep their focus on service in their communities. And while you do that, highlight what you do. So I've shared a lot with you today, and I think I shared it way too fast. But I hope that some of the topics that I touched on do make you hungrier for more information. You have a great support system. I'm here for you. Governor-elect Lonnie is here for you, as well as Governor Melanie, your district office and staff. And be sure to use each other as well. Bounce ideas, share ideas, best practices with each other. And when you just can't come to a good conclusion, reach out for help. As lieutenant governors, you're not in this alone. You do have a fabulous support system. You just need to make sure that you do use it. This next year, I hope you have fun. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be new. Everything that lieutenant governors normally did may not be the same that you need to do going forward. You may be writing a new path. Make sure that you do keep your district leadership informed about what you're doing. They could help out, but I also know that they want to know what you're up to so that they can applaud with you. Call upon each other and ourselves. I am part of the membership team of the district. I'm one of the five main persons on that committee. I am the person that's in charge of club strengthening. So this is going to be my pitch to you. We need club coaches. Club coaches are special people that can go in and help a club identify their issues and guide them to new solutions. It's not a person that goes in and says, you're doing it wrong, or my club does it this way, so you should too. So if you know that special person that could be a coach, let me know. We have a lot of clubs that need help, and I need a lot of special people to be coaches to do it. So with that, I'm going to open it up.
We have a couple questions.
We have some questions.
We have some questions.
All right.
So we've had several requests to get your PowerPoint presentation,
Sure.
if you don't mind sharing that, so Gary can get that sent out to everyone.
Great.
Awesome. And then,
Oh, repeat the question. Some folks, thank you, Melanie. Some folks are asking for my PowerPoint presentation. Believe it or not, my mother went through it last night and cleaned up some of my grammatical errors. I live with my mom now, taking care of her. So anyway, so yes, it's ready to be sent out to folks. So just let Gary know whom would like it, and he can send it out to you. I do have a script at the end of all the slides. I tried to look at you and not read the script, so definitely read my script so that you can figure out the more details about what I said.
so can you give some more instructions when folks go onto the KI site where they can find some of the tools you're talking about?
So the question is, or the request is, can I give more instruction on where to find things on the KI site? The easy answer, there's no easy answer. The suggestion is just to go on and click around. What I can tell you, and I'm going to close my eyes and try to imagine it, go on to the Kiwanis.org website. The very, very top on the right-hand side, you're going to see a button for member resources. Click on there. Then you're going to see a bunch of buttons in the middle of the page, and I believe there's one that says Training and Membership. Click on there. That's going to bring up mainly 3 sections. The first is going to be club opening, for opening new clubs. The second will be club strengthening. That's probably the button that you'll want to use the most. That's where you can find some of the tools that I talked about, such as the roster analysis form, the exit interview, albeit I've cleaned up the exit interview, so you may want to use my version instead. Just saying. Sorry. But that's where you're going to find the place for you to be to find most of the help for the existing clubs. Beyond that, I would say go out to the awards button. Did you know that if a member recruits, is it 5 these days or still back to 3? Anyway, in the old days it was 3 members. It may be up to 5. But if you do have a member who has definitely recruited other members into the club, make sure that they are awarded. And it's called the Ruby K. It's free. It's a very nice pin for them to wear. And it's a way to recognize folks that are sharing the Get to Kiwanis with others. Oh, the district website. We have an awesome district website. So on the right-hand side of our KiwanisPNW.org website, we have some hot buttons that Gary has put down, and take a look at those first. We also have the blog in the middle that the governor and Ed and Janelle and Gary work really hard on. They rotate topics very well, so check back often. On the top towards under the heading, I believe there's some buttons to get you to your Lieutenant Governor materials, to your events. So if you want to see what's coming up for convention, there's nothing there right now really that you need to see, but soon there will be about our virtual upgraded convention. But definitely look at those hot buttons.
Then you have our two-member requirement, you could get your membership credit.
Oh, and Governor Melanie just reminded me that if you sponsor 2 members into Kiwanis, you get your membership priority 1 pin. And that is an award through the district, so make sure that when that happens, that the district is notified so that pin can be shipped out to the club secretary.
One of the folks listening today wants to give you extra credit, maybe even awesome sauce, for your questions. K questions instead of Q
Kiwanis question.
questions. They thought that was really awesome and probably will use that themselves in the future.
Okay, not quite sure what that is, but okay. Something about K questions.
You
Great.
did questions and spelled it with a K instead of a Q.
No,
They
hers
were
has a
very
Q.
impressed.
That's Gary's.
That'd
Gary
be
did
Gary.
that. I would
Oh.
like to take that credit off of Jackie Sue and hand it over to Gary.
So for those of you that didn't hear all that, somehow Gary replaced something that was, instead of questions with a Q, was questions with a K for Kiwanis questions. I wished I'd done that, but I didn't. Gary did. So kudos, Gary. You will see on this slide, though, yet another graphic from Kiwanis International that I did download for free to place on the slide. Tons of these. Definitely look for them, use them. If you can't find where they're at, let us know. More questions?
That was all the questions I had.
Okay. If you go to the next slide, thank you. So if you do think of something later, again, my name is Jackie Sue McFarland. My email address is actually my college basketball shooting shirt name, which was Jack Sumac. I didn't choose it, but it has stuck with me for life. jacksumac@icloud.com, and then you have my cell phone number. I would love to be a resource for you and to help you, but please definitely do keep your district leaders informed as well. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much for having me. One last message. Have fun. Make your new path. Make it a good one. You have fabulous district support. Call upon them. Call upon each other. And thank you very much for letting me be here today. Thank you.
Throughout man's history, it has become a standard thought that good citizenship fosters better communities. People's concerns for the welfare of others have bonded them together, noting that others have the same needs and desires as they do. To develop by precept and example a more intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship. Early in the Kiwanis history, even while the debate continued discussing whether we should emphasize trade or service, all agreed that Kiwanis should represent a higher standard. Its members should present to the world a unified front of upstanding good citizens. It became the daily goal to constantly provide examples of this good citizenship through visible acts of service, always striving to improve our world for everyone. Members were encouraged to always be on the alert for service opportunities, and when identified, to seek ways that Kiwanis could successfully serve those needs. And early on, Kiwanians started emphasizing assistance of underprivileged children. Living up to this object has continued to this day as we serve the children of the world. To develop by precept and example an intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship.
All right. Jackie Sue, thank you so much. Always good information coming from the membership group, from the division, or from the district. So that concludes this session. We seem to be stuck at 1 hour sessions, but anyway, that concludes this session, and we will reconvene at 1:30. So get up, walk around, grab some lunch, and we'll see you then. Bye.